If you're a client-facing woman considering a move right now, there's usually one fear that quietly runs in the background. What if I have to start over? What if my experience doesn't transfer? What if I lose all the momentum I've built? Will I have to take a pay cut? This is the kind of fear that keeps a lot of very capable women staying in roles that they've already outgrown. At this point in my career, I've worked in client-facing roles across 10 different companies and multiple industries: finance, tech, hospitality, and retail. And here's something that client-facing women consistently underestimate. When you do this kind of work really well, you're never actually starting over when you pivot. When your industry changes, when your company changes, when your team changes, when your clients change, you're still bringing something very specific to the table. You've navigated relationships. You've influenced decisions. You understand how power, trust, and momentum actually move inside organizations. That kind of experience doesn't disappear just because the lane or the logo changes on your resume. If you're a client-facing woman considering a move right now, there's usually one fear that quietly runs in the background. What if I have to start over? What if my experience doesn't transfer? What if I lose all the momentum I've built? Will I have to take a pay cut? This is the kind of fear that keeps a lot of very capable women staying in roles that they've already outgrown. Not because they lack ambition, but because they don't want to erase what they've built, and no one has shown them how to carry it forward. So here's the reframe that will change everything. If you are strong at relationships and problem solving, your value does not reset when you change environments. You carry it with you. Client-facing roles are built on trust and judgment and pattern recognition and communication in high-stakes situations. Those are not industry-specific skills. Those are career assets, and they compound especially when you know how to position them. So I didn't leave finance to build a tech startup in my 20s just to prove I could do hard things. I left finance because I really wanted work that energized me, that excited me, and the pivot into tech wasn't what protected my career. My ability to build trust and build relationships is what has protected me. That is what continues to compound no matter the industry, across roles that look very different on paper, but rely on the same core strength. At some point, I realized that the real through line in my career wasn't the industry, the title, or the company. It was trust. It was relationships. Client-facing women who pivot well don't rely on knowing every detail of the industry. They rely on credibility and clear communication and the ability to make other people feel comfortable and confident choosing them and working with them. That's why these pivots work when they're positioned correctly. So here's the part I really want you to hear. Client-facing roles sit at the center of high-ticket businesses, especially in software and professional services. They're built on relationships, they're built on judgment, they're built on trust, and they're some of the hardest roles to fully automate. Which means that if you can communicate your value clearly, you're not fragile in this market, you're adaptable. So the real question isn't, what industry should I move into? What company should I move into? It's this: how do I position my experience so I'm the obvious choice for the work I want next? Let me say that again. How do I position my experience so I'm the obvious choice for the work I want next? How do I position my experience so I'm the obvious choice for the work I want next? Because when that's clear, recruiters are interested, your conversations change, and your pivots stop feeling like gambles. They start feeling intentional and aligned. The women who pivot smoothly are more confident because they are more clear. They can explain what they do well, how it shows up across different contexts, and why it matters to the business. The women who struggle usually have the right experience, they just haven't necessarily translated it yet. So if you are thinking about a career move right now, I want you to release the idea that you are starting over, because you are not. You're just repositioning, you're just redirecting, and those are very different things. Starting over erases value. Repositioning makes accumulated value visible. Now, in the next episode, I am going to go deeper into why trust beats expertise in client-facing roles and how women unintentionally weaken their own positioning without realizing it. If this resonated, subscribe on YouTube. Let's connect on LinkedIn. This series is for client-facing women who don't want to settle in their careers and don't want to start over either. I will see you in the next episode.